Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Land Cruiser build. Last time you saw the Land Cruiser, it had fenders on it and we took them off. Today, we're gonna start fiddling around with the power steering stuff, making sure we can get things aligned. I'm gonna take off the original steering arm and put that on eBay because it still works. And then we're gonna start taking off the tires in here to see what we're working with in terms of brakes. That means you get to see my air jack. Pretty slick sort of operation. Air comes in, goes down through that orange hose, then boom. That's how the whole thing lifts up, and then to lower it, you release the other valve, and it starts to go down. Will be linked in the description below if you want to contribute to the channel with a little bit of Amazon affiliate links. This diesel heater that I've got going, space heater just wasn't cutting it, so I need a little bit more BTUs, and this thing puts out a lot of heat. Heats up the garage, 2 degrees every 10 minutes. Half hour and it becomes a comfortable working range, and then I can work in here a little bit of heat, not pull as many amps, and run some of my other power tools. So let's get to work. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my website below if you want to support the channel a little bit more. It's still in an experiment, in the process of building it out, so be nice to me in the comments. Okay, let's see how this jack works. Gonna lift up the Land Cruiser, throw some jack stands into the front axle, and get to work on it. Gotta make sure nothing's in the way. All right, let's try lifting this again. All right, front axle on jack stands, returning. See if we can do the back. Next up, previous owner cut this hole at the steering column. I'm not sure what was there, but obviously zap started cutting through this bracket, which, okay, that's great. But it looks like the steering column as a whole is still operational, right? You got the shift linkage at the top, and it goes forward and backwards for, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know. But anyway, to get this thing out, it looks like this bracket needs to come off with these 2 bolts. And then it looks like that lifts out. This thing isn't attached to anything in there. Maybe a couple electronics. We'll get it out. Nothing too crazy. Alright, let's see what we can do. here it is in operation. Okay, what I'm doing is I am loosening this thing. There's the original tie rod, whatever it is. Just reassemble it a little bit so that I don't lose these bolts. Boom. Thing's seen better days. It's also not in terrible shape. It's just really dirty. I might power wash it, clean it up, throw some WD-40 on it. Probably not super usable. It's just difficult throwing away steel, right? Like, this could be of use to somebody, so maybe I'll throw it on eBay. This should, in theory, come right out. So let's give it a shot. There it is. Original steering column, bracket, still there. I might keep it just because I don't know what I want to do with it. And it's riveted in, so it's kind of difficult to get out. I don't want to cut it out like I did the other pieces. Give you a mount for an accessory someday. Maybe a little compressor right there. I don't know. We'll see. Now that the steering column is out, I'm going to take off the wheels and see what we're working with in terms of brake. We might be looking at a disc brake conversion for the four corners. Not that this thing is gonna go very fast, and it doesn't have a lot of weight, so the stopping power isn't a concern, but modern and ease of maintenance is something on my mind. So let's take a look and see what we find. This is the part of the video where I don't know what to do. So, I see a very large nut right there. I see a bunch of rusty bolts on the back. Okay, after some extensive Googling, this nut needs to come off. So, get some light here for you. You can see that nut is holding on the bearing and everything. There's some steel kind of wedged in there. I got a package from Ukraine. It's with this old-timey multi-fuel blowtorch. I decided to give that a shot on this bolt and that bolt, and it works. So I'm gonna overlay my iPhone video. Success! Look at that. Thank you, blowtorch. You were great. Ooh, that's hot. Shouldn't have grabbed it. It's gonna be in portrait mode, sorry, but it worked. So I got the screws off, and I believe those are the set screws that keep the drum onto the hub. Next step would be to try and get the drum off. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'll be successful, but we'll see how it goes. And after all that, I still can't get the thing off, so we might just take the whole hub off. I'll give it a couple more shots. If I get it off, I might not be able to show you because it's gonna take a long time. 2-inch nut. I bent the tabs back. I'm gonna see if I can just get that off with my rubber mallet and screwdriver, because everybody online says that This is just like kind of finger tight, so it should be pretty easy to get off. Alright, so a lot of gunk on here. There's another tab. Just cut it out. So I got it to spin. That's a step in the right direction. Haha! Alright. First one is off. That is nasty. Okay, this is the piece that keeps the nut on. Tabs just bend up and over. Alright, that inner nut now is off. Now I believe this whole assembly should come off. There is a clip that I need to pull off. So let's clean my fingers off. So I don't know if you can really see that. I think you can. Yeah, that thing is gunky. They look like they're in pretty good shape. They're just dirty. Okay, first look, probably in, I don't know if this thing has ever come off, but drums off, hub's still in there. I will separate that shortly. This looks like it's in some condition. I don't know. Definitely needs to be cleaned. On my YouTube rabbit hole, I found that this should be covered by a worn locking hub, but it wasn't, so there's that. And that transfers the power to the holes that are on the outside of this, so we're going to have to do some work. And I think I'm actually at this point just going to convert the whole thing to discs, so all this will probably get thrown away, not the bearings and stuff, but you know, the drums themselves plus the brakes, they look like they're in pretty rough shape. But let's continue taking this whole assembly apart, cleaning it, reassembling it, and ordering the disc brakes, which I know I'll have to put a bracket right behind this plate before that happens, but it's part of the process, so let's get to it. I'm gonna try and separate the hub from the drum here, which means I get to hit it with a hammer. At least that's what all the indications tell me, because I took these two screws out, which are in that hole and that hole. That's how you would normally do brake service on this, to separate the drums. You don't have to take the whole assembly off. But obviously, things stuck in there with all the gunk, so it's gonna be kind of hard. There it is, separated. So we got a safety wire around that whole thing. Connects at the bottom, goes back around. I'm gonna get a wire brush and try and clean that up before I start taking more of it apart. So I'm using a degreaser with the bottles over there, just Home Depot, Lowe's, heavy duty degreaser. It's 1 to 3 dilution. I'm using this brush here, and slowly knocking this stuff off. And for the really caked on stuff, using a screwdriver to just kind of scrape away at the gunk, and also the copper little wire wheel here. So that's the plan. Clean it up, bust out the impact wrench, and try and take this thing off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that if I could, okay, if I can't do that, then I was thinking maybe I could also do a mixture. So for braking and hard acceleration for 100, 200 horsepower.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge of these electric conversions is getting a controller that works. Yeah, the Rivian looks great. I really like the F-150 Lightning. I'd love to get an F-150 Lightning at some point. Inspecting all this stuff and making sure that, you know, it's kind of clean when I take it apart. Like, this is all just dirt coming off. 60 years of gunk. More fighting. So, this thing doesn't want to come off, right? No, there's none. This thing doesn't want to come out. Step one. This piece seems to be pretty locked on there, so I might get creative with that once I get this stuff off. But yeah, I need to get this thing off, so that's what the goal is right now, which means I also think I need to get this plate off. So, baby steps. Took that out. That's the inside of the axle. So this ball is like the universal joint, the CV joint. That's different than what I was expecting. But hey, I got it off. Step one, get it off. So off camera, because there's just so much gunk on this and I don't know what I'm doing here, I took this off. I then discovered that we got this ball right here This ball separates, right? The whole thing spins. See that? And that is effectively your U-joint. So I think later models of the Land Cruiser utilized a different design for the steering on the drive wheel up front. But this was the simple, is truly a ball joint. Then that thing was all rusted together, so I hit it with a hammer, and now I've got the spindle off. So I can reuse that with my disc brake conversion. I'm gonna have to find some worn hubs or some sort of locking hubs just so I can get four-wheel drive to work on this thing. But yeah, that was a great start. I still can't get this piece off right here. Thing is like seized on there. And I'm gonna keep cleaning this thing up off camera just so that I can see what I'm working with. I believe there's a seal on the back side right here that's gonna have to get replaced, but as you can see, there's a bunch of gunk back there. See what else we can take off on this. There's the axle. Look at that. Nasty. Needs some new grease. Clean that up. Put it back together. I let this soak in WD-40 in degreaser. See if we can actually get this arm off. So let's hit it with a hammer and see what happens. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The good news, it looks like this thing is now loose. I got some light there. You can get the arm off and continue working on the hub. I might have to get creative with this thing because that's not budging. I'll focus on that when I get this whole thing apart. So, all right, now that I know I'm gonna be in the garage for a little bit more and I got the heater running, I'm gonna continue taking this thing apart. So, get some gloves on, take this piece off. Let's get to business. Chop that off, frozen, can't get it off. This thing is all buggered up. So, let's try and get this thing off now. I can get it started, but then it just kind of peters out, so I don't know. Metal piece which is reusable in two pieces. This is some sort of fabric. This is a rubber seal. And then this is a metal piece right here. Dustin, when you forget the order of how this thing went together, reference this video. Alright, we're busting out the big guns. There we go. There we go. Try one last thing. Get that thing off. It looks like I can tap the bearings out. So there's actually a bearing at the bottom and at the top. From everything I saw online, you can tap out the bottom first, lift the whole thing up, and then get the top out. So let's give that a shot. Get that top one off, and then we'll start cleaning this whole thing up. The knuckle is off and in a bunch of pieces. So that's it for this video. Next video, hopefully the brakes will be here. I will be cleaning this whole thing up. Probably won't show that on camera just because it's kind of boring. I don't have a parts cleaner or anything, so I'm just gonna be using paper towels, and if I do anything interesting with the cleaning, I'll video it and throw it in the next video, but generally boring. I need to clean this up, get that ball joint off somehow, and start rebuilding this thing. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.